everybody, Chrysalis Sun here with BeTheVibe.com, and I'm on here today because I get a lot of requests from people who are wanting crystal recommendations. So for those of you who follow me or who watch some of my other videos, you know that I'm very fond of saying that every crystal ain't for everybody, because they're not. So in consideration of all the requests that I've gotten about crystal recommendations, I decided to launch a video series called Crystals for the Zodiac, which means that I will be going through all 12 signs of the Zodiac, and I will be discussing which crystals are most beneficial for that particular Zodiac, and also which crystals that Zodiac sign should avoid. So today's Zodiac I'm starting with is the sign Aries. Now, I love my Aries people. Aries is the zodiac that is, for those of you who are born between March 21st to about April 19th. You're represented by the Ram. Zodiac signs are cardinal. They are fire element and they're ruled by Mars. So, a lot of the energy of my Aries people are, very fiery, very aggressive, very motivated, creative, passionate, very intellectual, extremely smart people. I always tease my Aries people in saying that, I'm sure if you're an Aries, you probably have a very impressive book collection. Aries love to read. They love knowledge. They love philosophy, and very great communicators, very direct in their communication. So those are a lot of the positive sides of Aries. Now, some of the detriments to that sign, or flaws, each zodiac has one. And for Aries, Aries tend to be impulsive, kind of scattered, sometimes unable to finish projects, great at coming up with ideas. But when it comes to finishing the projects, a lot of times they get bored. They get bored really easily. They always need excitement. They're kind of here, there, gone tomorrow. Sometimes they're known for having quick tempers. And extremely stubborn. extremely stubborn. So whenever an Aries comes to me and they're wanting to recommend a crystal for them, I typically will recommend crystals that will balance out the detriments or the flaws of the characteristics, or crystals that bring out the positives or the great attributes of their character. So for my Aries people, first of all, I tell them stay away from fire crystals that have fire element. Y'all don't need that. You're already Mars. You're already war-like energy, already passionate, already very sexual. So any fire crystal will tend to bring out an imbalance of that. So pyrites, definitely not needed, especially because pyrite's already masculine. It's already, fire element, and it is connected to, I want to say the sun, if I'm correct. If I am wrong, though, I will come back in a later video and correct that. But from what I recall, pyrite's connected to the sun. Carnelian's another one. Don't need carnelian. Again, another fire element stone, connected to the second chakra. Again, my Aries people are already passionate, already sexual, already creative. It'll just kind of heighten and create an overbalance of that particular chakra. Jasper's a no, mainly too because Jasper straight fire, and I know there's dozens and dozens of different types of Jasper. It's already a fire element stone, and it's mainly used for purification. So again, fire not necessarily needed. On the other end of things, amethyst. So like I said, my Aries people tend to be very intellectual, very smart, and sometimes a little bit too much in their head. So amethyst is an air element stone. It is connected to the third eye thinking. So what that's going to do is it's basically going to add air to the fire. So you can kind of see how that's going to go. And again, garnet. So garnet's another fire element stone connected to the second chakra, all about creativity, vitality, and sexuality, fertility, all of that. So, those are the stones that I will typically tell Aries to stay away from. Now, for the crystals that benefit that particular zodiac, I tend to say grounding stones, so stones that are earth element, and stones that are water element, right? So this is the reason why, is because a lot of my Aries people tend to be a little bit uncomfortable with the more emotional and watery aspects of expression. And so a lot of times they need that, even though it is uncomfortable. So rose quartz is great for my Aries people. Makes them a little bit more soft, watery, expressive in their emotions. And it also will draw out their creativity in a way that is healthy. I do recommend black tourmaline. So black tourmaline is a grounding stone. It's a protective stone. And it is actually great for creativity as well. Specifically for those who are singers. So my Aries who are artists, musicians, singers, black tourmaline definitely will help with that. Clear quartz is great as well. It'll now quartz is an amplifier. However, it helps to focus energy. So, again, with that creativity, it helps to kind of bring that to center and focus that into something for those who are Aries. Agate. Now, agate is an earth element stone. And typically for my Aries, it's great, and my Virgos, but I'll talk more about agate for Virgos in the Virgos edition of the series. But agate is just going to ground you, it's going to calm you, it's going to protect you, and it's going to very much bring you into that earth element energy. Tiger's Eye. Now, Tiger's Eye I recommend, even though Tiger's Eye is a fire element stone. However, Tiger's Eye is great for motivation and focus. So for those Aries that have all these ideas and maybe a bunch of deadlines or projects that they need to get finished, I definitely recommend Tiger's Eye for the ability to be able to, one, ground yourself, but also focus all that energy and basically get stuff done, right? And hematite. So my disclaimer about hematite is that it actually really, out of all of these, is the most grounding stone. And I recommend magnetic hematite because what it'll do is it'll balance the left and the right hemispheres of the brain, as well as balance the meridians, and of course clearing the aura, clearing the chakras, and eliminating any toxins from your environment and all of that. But what I found is that hematite does really well for Aries children. So a lot of my parents will come and they'll have all these, Aries children that are just kind of everywhere, running around everywhere, not able to sit still, not able to focus. But when I give them hematite, magnetic hematite, those kids love it. They'll sit down and they will just ground immediately and focus all their energy into playing with these magnets, right? So hematite for children, my children Aries, but also my adult Aries as well. So basically what it is that with the Aries sign, I recommend stones that are water and earth, right? Now, and I don't recommend stones that are air or fire. Sometimes there's some exceptions. So for example, my Aries that are on the Taurus cusp, sometimes they need a little bit of fire because they may be a little bit too grounded and they don't have that Aries fire, that push energy. My Aries that are on the Pisces cusp, water might be a little bit too much. So again, they may need that fire element, but again, not too much. So my recommendation with the crystals is that just to kind of play around with them, see how they feel. But you'll definitely notice imbalances if you got too much of the fire, too much of the water, too much of the air, and too much of the earth, right? Now, these prescriptions, very generic. For those of you who are into astrology, you know that, we have our sun sign, but we also have our entire natal chart. And the natal chart really is the best indication of where your balances are. So, for example, my sun sign is Leo, but I have a Gemini rising, a Gemini North Node, Gemini Chiron, and then everything else is earth and fire. So I don't have any water in my chart. So, my understanding of this lets me know that I need crystals that have water element, and that I definitely need to stay away from fire element stones, as well as some air element stones, depending on what the stone is. So for people, I tell you that this is a very generic prescription, but what I recommend is to get your natal chart. Get your natal chart, look it up. There's astro.com, there's cafeastrology.com. You can plug in, your date of birth, time, and your place of birth. And it'll basically give you your entire natal chart, which is your astrological blueprint. That'll give you a clear indication of where you're at. And then if you need someone to do that for you or interpret it, I have a great astrologer that I go to, Shaman Hands. Hands down, the best astrologer that I've ever, worked with. Because not only will he break down your chart, but he'll also talk about how it affects your physical health, as well as your spiritual and emotional health of your natal chart. So he's awesome, shamanhands.com. He's also on Instagram, Spirit Science Institute. He's not on Facebook, but he is on Instagram, Spirit Science Institute, and he is on the internet, shamanhands.com. So if you're wanting to get your chart read or know more about your natal chart, he is the person to go to. So that pretty much concludes today's edition of my crystals for the zodiac for my Aries. If you have any questions, reach out to me, email me, look me up on Facebook, Chrysalis Sun, Instagram, Chrysalis Sun, bethevibe.com. You can reach out to me there, or you can email me, therapeuticvibrations.com. And I will see you next time. Peace.